Hey, do you think we could take these off? They're starting to chafe.
No.
I was only asking Prentice.
Everybody's a comedian.
Okay. VPN is up. Now what?
Oh, it's two-step off.
In Season 2 of Criminal Minds, Evolution, the BAU faces a new challenge with a group of unsubs, known as Gold Star, connected to the early days of the BAU. These unsubs are linked to a paper co-authored by David Rossi and Jason Gideon, which could be seen as a guide to creating serial killers. Joe Mantegna, who plays Rossi, discusses how the season explores his character's PTSD and his connection to the BAU's history. Felicity Huffman joins as Jill Gideon, Jason Gideon's ex-wife, adding depth to the story with her ties to the BAU's past. Both actors reflect on their characters' complexities and the rich backstory the series has developed over its long run. The next episode promises to delve further into these connections and the impact of Rossi and Gideon's controversial paper. Criminal Minds, Evolution's Joe Mantegna and Felicity Huffman on David Rossi's PTSD and history of the BAU. The second season of Criminal Minds, Evolution has introduced a new mysterious unsub after the BAU captured the elusive Elias Voigt. However, the team recently discovered that their unsub, Gold Star, is not a single unsub and has ties to the early days of the BAU. The sixth episode ended with David Rossi revealing to the team that the Gold Star unsubs and the program where they were created is tied to a paper that he and Jason Gideon wrote years ago that could be considered a recipe to create serial killers. The entire BAU has been struggling with their assignment to find the Gold Star killers while working with Elias Voigt. The unsub from Season 1 has proven to be a clever opponent who has rigged the game, painting himself as an innocent computer genius who got in over his head instead of the killer that the team knows him to be. It looks like the seventh episode of Criminal Minds, Evolution will also delve deeper into the history of the BAU with the paper and Jason Gideon's ex-wife coming into the picture. Screen Rant interviewed Joe Mantegna and Felicity Huffman about the seventh episode of Criminal Minds, Evolution. Mantegna discussed how this season has explored Rossi's PTSD and digging into the BAU's history. Huffman explained her connection to the BAU including not only Jason Gideon, but the relationships she has with current members. Joe Mantegna on exploring the history of the BAU and connections to Jason Gideon. David Rossi has been struggling throughout Season 2 of Criminal Minds, Evolution as he tries to face his PTSD alone. Unable to put the Elias Voigt case to bed, he has now learned that he may be in some part responsible for the new unsubs that the team is chasing. Mantegna discussed how his work with the military helped him get into the mindset of Rossi's PTSD along with the writing. Felicity, I absolutely loved your introduction. Can you talk to me a little bit about playing Jill Gideon? Felicity Huffman, I said yes because the script was so good and I got to act with Joey, who's an old pal, and I've admired him for years and years. Then when I got on set, and it's one of the nicest sets I've ever been on, they're all kind. I mean, they've been together as you know, for now 18 years. Usually when that happens, everyone sort of silos. Scene ends and everyone goes to their trailer and they actually sit around, it's old school, and talking and they're kind. I'm guest star number 6 million. And they made me feel so welcome and so kind. So I love the intro on that level. The character, I just thought she was really interesting. It's always interesting to play a conflicted character that is forced to do things against her desires. It's only a sense of personal responsibility that brought her back into this fold, even in the small part that she's going to play. Can you talk to me a little bit about the connection between your characters? Because it spans all the way back to kind of the beginning of the BAU? Joe Mantegna, I think we have tapped into the roots of this. They go into the first 16 years. There had been references made. We knew Gideon was married, we knew they had a son, there was the wife Jill. I mean, so the groundwork was laid. So I think what's nice, and the luxury we have in a show that has that kind of longevity is now you can attach it to that backstory and say, Oh yes, by the way. Remember these kind of people we've made reference to? Well, here she is. And then you find out there's some storyline there. The storyline involving, of course, Gideon himself, storyline involving Rossi character, the relationship to other members of BAU. So it's just great. It's always sweet to be able to dig into a story that you've had the roots of it always there, and now you're able to say, alright, let's explore. Felicity Huffman explains why Jill Gideon has stayed away from the BAU. The paper that Rossi and Gideon wrote pulls the story back to the beginning of the BAU. Jill Gideon is also tied to the legacy of the BAU not just through her relationship with Gideon. Mantegna explained how part the longevity of Criminal Minds has given them the opportunity to delve into the lore from the earlier seasons. Joe Mantegna, the fact that we're bringing Gideon's former wife, Jill's character. It's great because over the seasons, yes, we've had, from the time Gideon left when he made that departure early in season 3, we saw him driving off in the car and going off to who knows where. And then of course we see some seasons later that his demise. Now, we get this whole other element. Here she is, here's Jill. Here's this person who is going to be bringing so much, she's bringing a lot to the table, a lot to the game, and we're going to find out a lot of it personal, a lot of it professional. It's like life.